Hey guys, this is our team and player showcase for NHL North American Anaheim Ducks. First up, we have Rickard Raquel. Here is his overview. And here is his attributes. It's looking pretty solid. Overall high average. Up next, we have Hampus Lindum. Here is his overall with the 85. His potential being elite. And his attributes. It says here's a two-way defender. Stats looking pretty good here. It's all around a good skater. Puck skills. Yeah, everything's looking good here. Next up, we have Ryan GETZLAF. Here is his overall, 85 average, potential being elite, and his attributes is a power forward. Everything is looking pretty high. Defense seems to be his lowest. Up next, Josh Manson with the overall average of 84, potential top 4D, and his attributes. Josh is a defensive defenseman. The puck skills are not looking too good here, but everything else seems to be pretty good. And next up, Adam HENRIQUE with an overall average of 84. Potential top 6F. And his attributes. Adam is a two-way forward. Stats are looking pretty good here. There's nothing really to complain about. Pretty well-rounded. Up next, Cam Fowler. The overall average of 84. Potential being elite. His attributes. Cam being two-way defender. Stats looking pretty good. Mostly 4-star on everything except his physical. And up next, Jacob Silfverberg. The overall average of 83. Potential top 6F. And his attributes. Jacob being a sniper. Whatever that means in hockey. Physical and shooting seem to be the lowest. And senses as well, but everything else is pretty much decent and looks good. 4 stars. Next up, we have Sam Steele. Overall average of 81. Potential top 6F. And his attributes. Sam being a playmaker. Things are looking pretty good here. Lowest attribute is physical. 2.5 stars. Everything else, 3.5. Not bad. Next up, Max Jones, the overall average of 81, potential top 6F, and his attributes. Max being a power forward. His lowest attributes seem to be defense and senses. 3 stars. Anything else? 4, 3.5. And next up we have Troy Terry with the overall average of 80. Potential top 6F. His attributes. Troy being two-way forward. Weakest attributes are senses and physical. Everything else looks pretty good. Oh, actually his shooting is at 3 stars as well, but everything else is good. And here we have Jacob LARSSON. Overall average being 80. Potential top 4D. Here we have his attributes. Jacob being a two-way defender. And stats are looking good here. Lowest being his puck skills and senses at 3 stars. And his shooting at 3 stars. Next up, ANAHEIM. Overall average of 80, potential being top 6F, and his attributes. His player type being a two-way forward, and his weakest attribute being his senses. And next up, Brendan Gould. The overall average of 80. Potential top 4D. His player type or attributes is two-way defender. Lowest attribute being his senses at 2.5 stars. And here we have Sonny Milano, overall average of 79, potential top 6F. Here are his attributes. Player type is two-way forward. Stats seem to be pretty well-rounded here. Puck skills, defense, senses, and shooting at 3 stars. But everything else is 4. Got 4 and 3.5 for. And here we have Christian Juice. Overall average of 79 with a potential top 6D. Here are his attributes. His player type being offensive defenseman. His lowest stats being puck skills and senses. Shooting we have at 3 stars, defense 3.5. Skating and physical also 3.5, so pretty decent. Here we have Kiefer Sherwood. Overall average of 78. Potential top 9F. Here are his attributes, with his player type being a two-way forward. Puck skills we have at 3. Senses 2.5. Shooting at 3. Defense is 3. Skating 3.5, and physical. So, pretty good here. Next up, IRWIN. The overall average of 78. potential top 6D, and his attributes. His player type being defensive defenseman. The puck skills and senses are at 2.5 stars. We have his shooting, defense, skating, and physical looking good here. And here we have Nicolas DESLAURIERS, the 78 overall average, and potential bottom 6F. Here are his attributes, with his player type being grinder, and his stats looking okay. Lowest stats being senses at 2.5 stars, puck skills and defense are at 3, skating at 3, shooting at 3, and physical at 4.5 stars. And here we have Michael Del Zotto, overall average of 78, potential top 6D, and his attributes. His player type being a two-way defender. Let's see, lowest attributes being puck skills and senses at 2.5 stars. Shooting, physical at 3, and his skating and defense at 3.5. Looking good. Up next, David Bax. Overall average of 77, potential top 9F. And his attributes. His player type being a power forward. Let's have a look at the attributes. Puck skills and senses being the lowest at 2.5 stars. Shooting, defense, and skating at 3, and his physical 4.5. Here we have Carter ROWNEY, overall average of 77, the potential bottom 6F, and his attributes. Player type being a two-way forward, and let's see his skill. Puck skills and senses at 2.5. Shooting, defense, skating, and physical all at 3 stars. Pretty decent. And here we have Andrew AGOZZINO with the overall average of 76, potential bottom 6F, and his attributes, with the player type being a playmaker. Let's see, lowest attributes seem to be senses and defense at 2.5 stars. And puck skills, shooting, and physical are 3, with his skating at 3.5. And here we have Eric GUDBRANSON, overall average of 76, potential top 4D, and his attributes. His player type being defensive defenseman, and his lowest stats are puck skills and senses at 2 stars. Shooting, defense, skating are 3, with his physical being 4 stars. And last, we have Ryan Kessler, overall average of 70, potential top 9F, and his attributes. His player type being two-way forward. And let's have a look at these attributes. Lowest being his senses at 1.5. And then we have his defense at 2. Skating, shooting, and puck skills at 2.5, and physical at 3 stars. And that was our team and player showcase for NHL North American Anaheim Ducks.